Hi guys, I'm going to talk to you about a gun today. I'm going to talk to you about my Model 41 from Smith & Wesson. This is one of the best guns I've ever shot, and I'm going to tell you the history of it. This was bought in the early 80s by my father. It's manufactured, I looked up the serial number and I spoke to Smith & Wesson as well. And it was manufactured in the 1979, 1980, something like that. And my father bought it and shot it a few hundred rounds, competitive. And then he put it away in a safe because he got busy with my sister and me and loads of work. So then it's basically been hiding until I was a junior shooter, about 16 years old. Then I started shooting this gun. And I had it on loan, and then I moved abroad and I went back into my father's gun safe. And for many years, it hasn't been touched. And now I have, it's been handed down to me by my dad. And I have to say that this is probably, it's one of the best guns ever made, I would say. And that's probably gonna piss some people off, and there'll be some comments about that, I'm sure. But I maintain that this one has the best trigger out of any of the 22s that I've shot. And I like the ergonomics. Not everyone, I mean, some people really want this ergonomic stuff on their gun and stuff. I don't particularly like that. I like this angle on the grip, this grip angle, which is very close to, if not exactly the same as the 1911. And I like the fact that it's a no-frills gun and it's built so well. I know that Smith & Wesson stopped making these and then they started again. And I think, without being sure, that there are some parts that are inferior in the newer generation of this gun, but I'm not sure. That could be just a myth as well. But these old ones, the early ones, are renowned for being extremely solidly built, and it's put together really tight. It's extremely unforgiving because it makes a hole where you point it, so you have no excuses. And it's just super reliable if you feed it the right ammo. If you put the wrong ammo in it, it doesn't always cycle particularly well. Mine seems to like the CCI standard velocity, and pretty much only that. Top Shot as well. Top Shot makes I think it's made in the same factory. I don't know if it's the same quality control, but made in the same factory as CCI. And it seems to work well with the CCI Top Shot as well, but that's pretty much, unless I go for the higher velocity ones, which Smith & Wesson tells me I shouldn't do. I guess I could put another recoil spring in it to give it a better, to tune it to snappier ammo. But there's really no need because I can get a hold of the CCI standard velocity here quite easily. So this gun is, as far as I can tell, ergonomically the same as the, or very close to the 1911. So it's a cheaper rounds if you want to shoot a 22 to spend a lot of time on the range. Gun laws in Sweden are rather particular. You can't easily have a lot of guns. You have to be, it's a lot of hoops to jump through to get yourself a gun license for handguns, and it's not getting easier. So you have to be a little bit picky about your guns, and it takes a long time to buy a gun. You can basically, it's half a year to get the paperwork through, and it's a bit of a hassle. So you have to be picky about what you buy, because you can't just go and change your mind easily. So this is how this one works. The slide moves, but the barrel and the sights and stuff, it's all fixed. It never moves, so it goes back to the same place. It never needs to move. So the precision is the same. I don't know how to explain that any better, to be honest. With a bit of training and getting used to it, this is an extremely accurate pistol. A lot because of the trigger being so super smooth. The reset is just super distinct. The pressure is very light, and so far, when people have been trying this gun, if they have something like Browning makes one that is ergonomically almost the same, but then they pick up this one and shoot this one, and they all shoot better with this gun because it's that smooth. Now, when I used to shoot this as a junior, the grips suited me very, very well. They don't anymore. My hands are much bigger now, so I'm going to change these ones out to it will not be an ambidextrous. You see, these ones have a thumb rest, ambidextrous thumb rest, but that one kind of gets in the way for me at the moment with my bigger hands. Also, it's a little bit too short from here to here, so I have to I would like the trigger to be maybe 5 millimeters further to the front. But I think if I put something like the nil grips on here, a little bit fatter grips, it'll be a larger circumference, and I will get straight on the trigger a little bit further out without having to. Now I have to a little bit pinch it, so it does get tiring if I spend a lot of time on the range one day. It gets a little bit. There are some hot spots. I'm sure I can get it better to fit my hands. They're much bigger than my father's hands, so these ones fit him very well, but they're a little bit too small for me. The other thing that I don't like about the grips is that they're lacquered. So when you get sweaty, if you're shooting indoors or outdoors in the summer, they tend to get a little bit slippery. So my next set of grips will be non-lacquered, maybe just oil or something. So they soak up the sweat rather than leaving it on the surface to decrease traction. But other than that, this is an absolutely fantastic gun. It's nice and heavy in the front. The balance is superior. It's once you get it right, there's of course this is a 22, so the recoil is not exactly a problem to handle. But if you want to shoot fast, if you choke up high and you shoot fast, you get it back down into, because of the heavy pipe, the heavy barrel, you get it back down onto target very, very rapidly if you want. It's a super easy gun to take apart. It is, the field stripping is just super simple. You pick it apart like this, and you got this slide in the barrel out of, and there's your guide rod and your recoil spring, and that's it. So for maintenance, that's super fast. I'm putting it back together, take just some jiggling, and that's it, which I won't do online. But that's the most I have to say about this gun. It's I really love it, and I would be super interested in hearing from others, because I know that in the US this is many people consider this one of the best rimfire pistols ever made, and some dream about it. I know it's rather costly. There are some much cheaper alternatives out there. Right now, this one costs, in Sweden, I think you have to fork out about $2,200 or something for this one at the moment. I don't know what kind of price level it was on it when my dad bought it, but I know that it's a pretty costly gun. But I have this quality fetish, and this is truly quality. So I would love to hear from others with experience from this gun and hear what you have to say about it. People that have tried it, people that have tried the newer versions, and I would love to hear from people who've used the performance center model to see if, and this one, to see if there's a difference, if it really is that much better. Because I find it hard to figure out what would be an improvement on this gun. Because I think it's truly a fantastic gun. Sadly, it's not so easy to get hold of Smith & Wesson parts right now, so in Sweden, which means that I am considering getting another gun for because I can't shoot this one as much. I would like to keep this one and not having to swap things on it. It has a sentimental value for me. So this one will be it'll be exercised regularly, but maybe this is not the one I shoot hundreds and hundreds of rounds a week on. So I'm looking at a 1911 now, and it will likely be a 9mm because that's the ammo that's easily readily available here in Sweden, and also the price is much lower on the 9mm compared to the 45. Also, I think I'm going to get a European-made 1911. I know it's sacrilege to a lot of people, but it needs to be American-made 45 caliber. The only reason to buy yourself a 9mm is because you're whatever. But that's the way it is. Schmeisser makes one that looks fantastic, and I've been eyeing that one, and it's a super tight build, and also rather expensive, but not up there with the Wilson Combats and Nighthawk or anything like that. But it is costly, so we will see what I do. But that's what I have about the 22 here, and I would really like to hear what you guys think about it. Goes out to my American friends. I don't think there's that many of these. I have not seen anyone in any of the clubs that I've been in with this. I know that some clubs have the newer version as a club gun for beginners, and I think that's a fantastic choice because it's a super easy to handle gun, and it really you have to get it right. You have to get everything right, and you have no excuses. So, but I think it's not a very common gun here. So I'm looking forward to hearing from our American friends, or maybe some other people that have experience with this gun and the performance center, the newer version and stuff. So let me know and hit me up in the comments. Thanks, guys.